Hello knitters, Faylynn from Trans Knitting Studio in San Clemente, California. And today I have a bunch of classes. Stay tuned. Class coming up first is the Quant headband, which is an entrelac headband. Again, I keep forgetting to bring my other one that's multicolored, that's really pretty. So this is it. This is entrelac. We did an entrelac pillow like a month ago. So it's the same thing, but it's much smaller than a whole big pillow was. So this one I did out of fingering weight yarn, and it makes it thinner, not as wide. The band, it was done out of worsted, I don't know, an 8 probably, and it's like a 5-inch wide band. And I'll put my picture up again, and I wear mine, but I actually fold mine in half because that 5 inches is too wide for my head. If you want 5 inches, then you can make it out of something, DK worsted weight yarn, and you'll get the wider band. But this to me was like that's more of the right kind of size, right? And it ties, which I love because then you can really like tighten it down so that it's tight enough on your head. And it also will tighten like down to anybody's head, including the large heads like mine. It's like mostly mine has to be large enough because a lot of things don't fit my head. So entrelac, and it's fun. It's an interesting technique. It's very different. If you've not done it, you've not done anything like this. It's a different technique. It'd be very comfortable with knits and purls, and you'll be doing knit two togethers and SSKs. And that's what you're doing. That's an I-cord. That's easy. Depending on the yarn will depend on the size of your needle. I tend to make it on the little bit tighter side. So this was probably on a 3 though, because I didn't want to go down to a 2 or 1, but you could. Anyway, so this class is Saturday, May 25th, and it's from 12 to 2. Okay, this counts as on my hooks and the next class. So this class is on June 1st from 12 to 2, Saturday, and it's the Catawba. So it's a crochet top, and as you see, I finished the body, and I started the sleeve last night, so you can see I've got a little bit of the sleeve done now. And it's such a non-thinking, if you're a crocheter, this is such a non-thinking project. It's ridiculous. I love it. It's like the thing I work on last thing in the evening before I go to bed, because I don't have to be thinking about a pattern, no patterns up. I'm just crocheting away. So this we used the Sotili, which is a cotton wool blend. It's very lightweight. This is a light sport. It says it's a sport, but this is a light sport into a heavy fingering. So this is very lightweight, but you push everything up so that it's just drapey, gauge wise. This is the same yarn we used for the trestle tee, and I put that up on an 8. And this is supposed to be on like a 3.5 to 4, that's millimeters. And I have it on a 6 millimeter. So that's that, and that's this class. And this class, again, you need to just know how to double crochet. If you can double crochet, you can do this class. And it's just getting it set up, which you will be able to do in class, get it totally set up and started. Because once you started, it's like on auto. So it's just getting it started, making sure you're starting it right, that you may need help on, you may not need help on. The other thing good about crochet is, and especially this particular pattern, because everything's a row. So like I ended with that green row at the bottom, but when I actually get it on Christine again, if we want to take it out a row or two, it's easy. If we want to add a row or two, it's really easy to add a row or two. You just add a row or two. And so adjustments of that kind, length adjustments, super easy. Okay, in class I'm adding, because we have all our dream in, this is the perfect time if you wanted to do the pressed flower shawl, this beauty, lovely, lovely beauty. And this is a slip stitch pattern, so it's not intarsia, it's slip stitch, so that means you're only carrying one yarn at a time. Carry one yarn for 2 rows, the other yarn for 2 rows, and everything. So this is, once you get what's going on, this is an easier pattern. This isn't a really hard pattern. Getting it in your brain is what's the hardest. So I'm gonna warn you, it probably will take a couple starts, because the first, you start right here, and so your first bit is written. She's actually written out, I think it's 2 to this first thing. So you got these 2 flowers, your repeats like this, and then your repeats like this kind of thing going on. Okay. And so, but once you understand what's going on, then the only row that really you have to really make sure you do correctly is when you start a new flower row, because you'll have 2 rows or 4 rows in between that are just the black and the white, just a slip pattern with no flower between the flowers. And it's starting that first when you start another row of flowers. As soon as you get that lined up, then it's easy to see what all is going on and do it. This isn't a fast project, but this was one of the most fun projects I've ever done. I thoroughly enjoyed making this. And as far as I know, everybody that's made it and actually gotten, made it, it's like it was one of their favorite projects. So this is one of those kinds of projects that once you get it, and it's worth getting, it's worth taking the time to get it. And once you get it, it's just a lot of fun to knit. It's just so much fun to knit. So pressed flowers I'm gonna do, and that'll be, so this takes 2 skeins of the solid and 2 skeins of the variegated, of the dream. So that's what you'd be using, is 2 skeins and 2 skeins. Okay, last but not least is the Heirloom Blanket. I know it's not the first of the year or the end of the year, so we're starting a mid-year class. Mid-year class. So June 2nd is the first class from 10 to 12. It's a Sunday, 10 to 12. It's once a month. It will be on the 2nd Sunday of the month. Not this is the first, because the 2nd Sunday I can't do the 2nd Sunday. So, but it'll be the 2nd Sunday of every month from 10 to 12. So you can set it on your calendar. There may be a few places where we have to change that. But yeah, so 2nd Sunday of every month. And it is 2 blocks a month, so you end up with 20. You end up with 20 blocks, because a couple of those months we're putting it together and stuff like that. So you learn different stitches, and every square is different, and so you learn lots and lots of different. You learn tons of different techniques, and the remarks I get from this class, this will be my 6th blanket class. So the 6th time I've run this class, and unanimously, it's everybody's fit. They're so glad they did it. They learn so much. You learn about pattern reading. You get to where you can read patterns, not perfectly, but you really get to understand them. I don't read them perfectly. Patterns are a thing, but you'll get to be able to you'll know basic patterns and be able to understand what's going on. You learn a lot of different techniques, cabling, lace, and just stitch stuff, bobbles. And in the process, you often learn whether you like cables, love cables, hate cables. Same with lace. I love lace. Oh, I don't like lace. So you also learn what you like and don't like, but it's only not on a full sweater. It's just on a little block. And it's also just a little block. So each technique is just a little block. And not that you don't have to spend some time on them, because sometimes you do. Pulling out, you'll be able to start figuring out your mistakes and how to get them out and how to get them back on. There's just so many things that you learn, and I don't care if the person's a beginning there now. You need to know how to knit. You need to know how to purl in the same row, like knit 1, purl 1. And that's really all you really need to know, is those things: casting on, binding and binding off, the really basics of knitting. Those things are what you need to know how to do. And then you can do this class, because you're going to learn as you go. But if you've been knitting a long time, even, you still will learn stuff, because that's what I get. I got people who've been knitting a long time, and they still come out of the year with like, oh wow, I learned so many things. So glad I took this class. So it's for everybody, the beginner to the advanced. And it's a lot of fun. It's fun being with the same group of people for a year. You sort of get a group vibe going, and everybody, watching everybody's blankets and knowing that they're screwing up as much as you are, or you're able to help somebody next to you because you get it, and stuff like that. So this is always a very popular class. So popular that I've been asked to try to go ahead and start one mid-year, because they don't want to wait till January to start it. So we are June 2nd, and so you just need to have, I need to know you're coming. You need to come in and get your yarn. There's, you'll need 3 colors. You'll need 5 skeins of 3 colors, and then there's 1 accent color which gets thrown into some of the blocks, because I need a new color. And when you come in, we use Chow, which is a washable merino yarn. It's a fabulous yarn. It's a beautiful, this is it. It doesn't pill. This is a 5-year-old blanket. and it's in a yarn store, and it doesn't, see, there's no pilling. No pilling. So it doesn't pill. It wears beautifully. It will wear forever. And you are knitting an heirloom blanket. It's going to be around forever. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in, you're going to pick your 3 colors. You're going to get 1 skein of each color and then order the rest of them. And then Christine will have them, order it. And then they'll come in and you'll have them. But for the first class, you only need 2 skeins actually. You can do 2 skeins of the same color, or you can do just 2 of your different colors. You can make this blanket very neutrals with taupes and grays and creams and those kinds of things, or you can make it very bright and pretty. So it just is up to you. Lately, we've got a lot of neutral blankets being made compared to the first couple years. They were very colorful blankets. But it's up to you what you want to do. Just make it something you love, because you're going to be working with those colors. And if you don't love them, it's really hard to work with them. Ask me how I know. So make sure, even if you're making it for somebody else, make sure that you love the colors too, because if you don't, it's going to be really hard to knit on them. And you probably will give up at some point. So the heirloom blanket starts June 2nd, so you really need to try to come in before then, because you do have homework. You need to cast on the two blocks and get them going. So it's like cast on in 5 rows of seed stitch. So if you don't know seed stitch, you'll be figuring that out. And so you need 2 size 8 needles, cable, 2 of them, so you can do 2 blocks a month. And yeah, so that's the scoop. So again, like I did last week, there's a video after the credits at the very end of this one that will go say exactly what it basically said, but there's also lots of people talking about what they learned, testimonial kind of stuff, and those are fun to watch. You can skip down to the testimonials if you want. But so we're June 2nd. If that's an old video, so I think I got the dates out, but if it didn't, June 2nd, and it's from 12 to 2. It will be the 2nd Sunday of every month, okay? And yeah, I hope you join us, because it is a lot of fun. We have a great time. You learn so many different things. You learn tips and tricks out the kazoo, because I have a ton of them. and they get thrown out all the time. So yes, June 2nd, come in, get your yarn, pick out your yarn, and so you can get your stuff casted on. Now, if you're last minute and you just can't do it, just come to class, with your 2 yarns, and then and we'll get you casted on. Like, I'll probably have you come early, and I'll get you casted on so you can move on. So even last minute, it's okay. It's okay. You can come last minute. Just easier if you don't. All right. So call the store Wednesday through Sunday, 12 to 4. Let us know you're coming. Email me. There's email on YouTube down in the box below. You hit more, and my email's there. My email's at the end of the newsletter. So is the stores. The stores and my email are on the website. So email us or call us and let us know that you're wanting to be added to the list. And that's it for today. Nice, short, sweet. Our new yarn is coming in. We've got some silk and cotton silk blends, and some linen blends and stuff. But anyways, our summer yarn is it's like due any day. And I know I said that last week, but that's the way yarn and shipping goes. You're like expecting it, and then, oh, nope, not until next week. We are expecting it any day. So hopefully next week I'm showing you lots of new summer yarns and some pretty nice summer stuff that you can start thinking about getting into as the sun came out this week. Yay! All right, everybody. I hope to see you in the studio real soon. Bye. Okay, our heirloom blanket. So this is a year-long class. This will be our 4th year doing this blanket. It's a year-long class that you learn lots of things about knitting. Like, you learn a ton of techniques. You learn about pattern reading. I find that everybody that takes this class, whether they're a beginning knitter or an advanced knitter, come at the end of the year and say, I've learned so much about knitting in this year. And so the blanket has, all the squares are different. There's 20 squares. And all of them are different. You end up, we typically get 3 colors. And you see everything's really different. You got bobbles, you got cables, you got striping, you got lace, you got fair isle, you got stitch patterns, you have a cable dowel, and jacquard. You got all these stitch patterns. And one thing you definitely learn is what you like and don't like. Like if you'll figure out whether you like lace or you don't like lace, or you like cables and you don't like cables. Those kinds of things, you'll figure that out pretty quickly. But at least you figured it out on a little 10 by 10 block and not a sweater or something that you bought tons of yarn for, and you're like, oh God, I hate doing lace. I don't want to do lace. Or I love doing cables. Thank God I got, So you figure out things that you like. Fair Isle is another one that's a big technique, and lots of things are Fair Isle right now. So so you learn a lot, whether you're new to knitting or at advanced and been around knitting for a while. I hear from everybody how much I learned from doing this class. So you'll learn the pattern reading. You'll learn pattern reading, which is really, a lot of people's like, oh, I don't understand the patterns, which, yeah. You learn how to fix things. And then you just learn tons of different things. It's a year-long class. We meet once a month, the fourth Sunday of every month. And so you get to know everybody, which is really fun because you're on sort of a journey with a group of people, and it's the same people all the time. So that's really fun to do. And then by the end of the year, you actually have a finished blanket. And so it's just a lovely, lovely way to like learn, advance your knitting skills, no matter where you are in your knitting journey. You will advance your knitting skills by doing this project. So go through, we'll have lots of colors of chow, and you can come in and pick your colors and all that kind of good stuff. A lot of people pick, colors that match their house, or if you're doing it for somebody, then, colors they like, or that kind of thing. And you can go pretty neutral with the colors too. You don't have to have bright colors. They can be, creams and sort of beiges and a taupey brown or something, or gray and a taupey brown or something like that, so that it stays very muted. It doesn't have to be really super colorful. So, but it can be anything you really want it to be. So come in, you'll need 3 colors, 5 of each color, 5 skeins of each color, and then 1 accent color, which you don't have to do. It's your blanket. There's lots you can do more than 3 colors. You can do 2 colors. It's really hard to do 1 color because there's a lot of blocks that you can't stripe with 1 color. You can't Fair Isle with 1 color. So there's several blocks that you can't do with 1 color. But you could use 2 colors, and they could be colors that are very close to each other. Like a cream and a beige, or a cream and a light tan color, or something like that. So it stays very neutral. It doesn't have to be colorful. So it can be whatever you want. And so I hope you consider taking our class for the year, and it's lots and lots of fun. At the end, the next segment up is going to be videos of people talking about the class and pictures and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay, latest summer project, and I love this one because I'm going to wear it for beach cover-up, although I had to wear it today to show everybody. And I have learned so much in 10 months. I have made multiple sweaters and scarves and hats, and I can't get enough.
And a lot of it came from what you learned in the squares?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of stitches, a lot of, and then of course Tinking is a great teacher too. But,
yeah. Everybody takes out, you guys. It's all okay. 3.
I love this class because I learned color work for the first time so that I can make this.
Yay!
I was always scared of it, but it turned out great.
And what colorway is that?
This is the
San Clemente
Seaside here. Yes.
So yay!
So soft. Love it.
Amazing, amazing. Best thing ever. Thank you.
Blanket class is Sunday every month. It was fantastic. You learn so much about any kind of stitches you can imagine. Color work, all kinds.
Yep.
Laces, cables, you name it, is all in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I knitted blanket, the whole giant, every square. I learned all kind of stitches, so many of them. And I learned how to knit beanie, baby sweater, hoodie sweater, adult tank top. Just unbelievable. All my family was shocked. I can do that. They said, oh my God, you're actually able to do that and you stick with it? Faylynn gave me so much encouragement. So I thank her very much.
So when I started blanket class, all I knew how to do was knit and purl. First square, cable square. Next thing I knew, I was knitting an awesome sweater with the cable down the back. I've learned how to do lace work. I've learned how to do slip stitches. I've learned how to do color work. It is fantastic. I highly recommend it. I can't even believe I can pick up a pattern now and not go, huh? It's awesome. I've learned so much, and I'm actually sad that it's coming to an end.
Yeah, yep.
Because I'm ready to learn more.
Thank you.
Hi, I am loving the square class. It has been so fantastic. Been knitting about a year, and this class has given me so much confidence to pick up a pattern. And if I'm not coming to workshop on Thursday, and it might be a Monday, I'm not intimidated to look at the patterns and know from the squares different stitches, different pattern types, and it has been so fantastic. It's so creative. You basically can't mess up, and it's just tons and tons of fun. I highly encourage anyone who wants to know more about different pattern types, different stitch types, or just do something really creative and fun to definitely sign up for this class. I've loved it. Good luck.